Hi friends, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and in this video I'm pumped to talk to you guys about the most confusing type of lighting console or software we have, the intermediate lighting console. So as we talked about at the top of this series, which is available via a playlist or right now live if you're getting these every week as they come out, we've been talking about different sorts of lighting consoles and how they differ and how to figure out which one's right for you. And then when you figure out the type of console you need, how to figure out which one you actually need. The intermediate lighting console is easily the most confusing type because it's in the middle, right? It's not like the beginner console where we can start at the bottom at the simplest consoles and work up. And it's not like the professional grade console where we can start at the top of the range of consoles and move down until we feel like we're not really in the professional range anymore, right? With the intermediate, we can't do that. It's in the middle, right? And like anything, categorically, you know, we have a lot of crossover. Right, where, consoles from the basic level, they, drift into the intermediate level. But what I think really sets the intermediate level apart, and what for us here at Learn Stage Lighting makes an intermediate level lighting console, is the fact that it's a console that's very capable, or software, can do a lot of things, but not everything you'd want, but can get into some pretty complex stuff. But and this is the biggest key, the learning curve to get started is really quite fast. With an intermediate level lighting console or software, I expect typical users to be able to go out there, watch some quick tutorial videos, get started programming, and be able to do some meaningful stuff in that software within just an hour or two, right? Or that console. Okay, so what consoles then do I recommend at the intermediate level? As of this recording, and we always update these, we like the LightShark standalone lighting consoles and LightKey, the Mac software. Both have their quirks, both have things they're good at, things they're not as good at, but in total, they're both really great. So LightKey, the Mac software, is great because it is so quick and easy to learn. It walks you through every step. And it really can do a lot. And if you're already a Mac user, then the way that it works feels very fluid and very in tune with how Macs work. We find Mac users get started really quick, and it just works really well for them. Okay? The LightSharks, on the other hand, are standalone lighting consoles. Now, the benefit to a standalone console versus something that's PC or Mac based is that you don't have to have a PC or Mac. There's never going to be an automatic update that pops up or anything like that. Okay? The downside, of course, is that, well, they're going to cost more, right? There's no separate PC or Mac that you're buying. The computer's built in, so yeah, they're going to cost more. And being a standalone console, the LightShark, you're not going to program this from a PC app, okay? So what makes the LightShark cool and kind of different is they've got a couple models, first of all. So this here is the LightShark LS1. I'll show you overhead as well. And it is a kind of very typical looking console, right? We got a master fader and then 10 other faders, flash buttons, play and select buttons, some programming keys, some wheels, etc. And then there's a little tray here. Okay, you might be able to see that, you might not. Maybe actually camera 2 might be a little better for that. Okay, there's a tray in the top. This is where you put your tablet, okay? And then on the back, more on that in a second, and on the back, then we've got DMX output ports, a lamp port, network ports, a built-in Wi-Fi, and a fan. Okay, so the reason we like the LightShark and what kind of makes it unique is it's in that middle ground where it's not as expensive or as complicated as the lower end professional grade consoles, okay? Like every professional grade console, like Onyx, their lowest end console is the NX1, and the LightShark is a good bit less expensive than that, okay? And it's also less complicated, okay? And so that's really what you get with an intermediate level console like the LightShark, is that best of both worlds. Okay. Now, in terms of uniqueness, just, quick overhead view of LightShark versus LightKey. LightKey really finds its strength in being Mac-based. It's very easy to set up MIDI triggers and to work with it in audio DAWs. The LightShark is really great because, again, it's a complete standalone console. You stick the tablet in and you log into a web page via the tablet, or you can do it on a PC or a Mac, and you're just accessing the interface built into the LightShark from that other device. Then you can program away. You can program here in front of the LightShark. You can walk away and program in your space, in your room, up on stage, wherever, right? And if your tablet loses connection, if anything goes wrong, it doesn't matter because everything you're doing is stored within the console. Okay, it's running its own software. Now, the LightShark has a couple really great things going for it that we like here. It's been hit harder with the chip shortage and price increases due to that over the past few years than other consoles, which has been frustrating. But when you're looking for a console that programs similar to a lot of pro-grade consoles, meaning the workflow is the same, putting things into palettes or presets, recording groups, recording those into queues, that kind of workflow that you see in professional consoles is also here in a LightKey. The LightShark, but it's simplified. So you can get somebody up to speed who's never worked with lighting before, like I said, relatively quickly by just watching the tutorial videos. But if somebody has experience on a professional grade console and they're doing a smaller show, they're coming in to help your church or what have you, then they can get up to speed on this really quickly. And so that is also very cool. Under the hood, there's also a lot of communication options with different automation systems. So like MIDI triggers, for example, in the LightShark are not as fluid and simple as in LightKey. But if you want to trigger OSC or send triggers to other devices via the LightShark, you can do it in queues as well. Then those options are there. And so if you're integrating with a bigger system and you want to be controlling other devices from the LightShark, rather than like with LightKey using another software to control it, the LightShark can be a really great fit for that because it's got those capabilities built in. It has the customization available to be able to send really specific OSC messages or messages to automation systems, etc. Okay, and so that's why we really like the LightShark is you don't have to rely on that PC. You still get that intermediate level experience, but you're not having to run it on a PC. You're not having to learn something all the way professional grade. It's keeping it simple, but it's still very capable. In fact, if you get into it and start really messing around like with the effects and stuff, the ability to lay your fixtures out just flat 2D and then run effects on different shapes across it is really cool, really powerful, and can make a great show. Okay? Now, you're going to know that, and the place to know if an intermediate console is not enough for you, if you need to go to that pro grade level, is if you start looking at something like the LightShark, LightKey, these intermediate level consoles, and you start to go, okay, I'm watching the videos, maybe I'm trying it out somewhere, etc., and I'm seeing some places where I want the console to do more. I want to have these certain options available to me. I want to customize my workflow in this way or that, and I can see that this doesn't have it. That this intermediate control solution doesn't have such and such capabilities. When you start to find stuff like that and you're seeing stuff like that, that's a red flag where I would say, hey, an intermediate level solution is not right for you. Okay, so that's where you jump up to pro grade, which we'll talk about in our next video. The biggest thing to remember is intermediate level is not a cost range. Okay, intermediate level is a skill range. It's how many lights, can it control? How easy is it to get started? That's what intermediate level really answers in terms of questions. It says, okay, it's easy to get started. It's easy to control a moderate amount of fixtures. It's not It can do a lot more than those basic level consoles, but it can't do everything the professional grade consoles cost. But cost-wise, sometimes an intermediate level control solution is less expensive than a basic console. Sometimes it's more expensive than a pro grade console PC setup. Okay, so it's not a cost bracket, but what you really want to look at in terms of lighting control, and I always really urge this of people, is finding what's right for you. Because shifting, a few $100s more into control or less, and getting what's perfect for you is way more important, way more important than saving a few bucks and then having the wrong control for your needs. When you have the wrong software, when you have the wrong console, you're just going to be frustrated, and we don't want you to get frustrated. So, if you're brand new to this, head over to LaurensStageLighting.com, grab my free guide to begin with lighting. It's right there on the homepage. We want to get that into your hands so we can help you and then send you more info on making great lighting. Until next time, guys, I'm David. We'll see you guys in the next video. It's going to be all about those professional grade consoles and whether they're right for you. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.